Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Celeste, for that kind introduction. Thank you to Bobby and the Hawaii Firefighters Association for inviting me. It really is an honor to be here again at the IAFF Legislative Conference. I want to thank President Kelly and the entire team for having me and for the work that they do every day to advocate for all of you. I also want to personally thank Bobby and the Hawaii Firefighters Association who are here today for everything they do to keep our great state safe. I was here last year talking about how important the work all of you do is, how my colleagues in Congress are working to support you. But I never imagined then that just a few months later, I would see the staggering heroism and sacrifice of firefighters up close in the starkest of terms when wildfires burned down the town of Lahaina on the island of Maui in Hawaii. The way the firefighters ran headfirst into the inferno that day as their own homes burned and their families and friends ran for their lives was extraordinary. It was brave, it was selfless, and it was life-saving. But it's exactly what each one of you does every single day in your own communities. You run towards the scene that everyone else is fleeing. You put your lives on the line to save others, often at great risk. And you don't do it for the plaudits or the headlines. You do it because you care about your neighborhoods. There are few people more heroic than firefighters, and I saw how incredibly grateful the survivors in Lahaina were for what firefighters did that day to rescue them and their families. They used every tool they had, no matter how seemingly small or blunt relative to the raging inferno. And when the hydrants ran dry because of pipe breaks, they quickly shifted their focus to rescuing people in trapped cars and burning buildings and crumbling homes. Their heroism in those desperate hours is all the more astonishing when you consider the small size of the Maui Fire Department. And in truth, no fire department anywhere is built to handle a once-in-a-century fire, whipped up by 70-mile-an-hour winds that levels a town in just a couple of hours. And yet they did everything in their power to rescue their neighbors and bring them to safety. 17 of them lost their own homes that day. Many lost friends and family. Others were wounded, and almost everyone is still recovering from the emotional toll of the day. We can never fully repay them for their service and their sacrifice, and the same is true for all of you. But what we can do is fight to get you the resources, the health care, and the benefits that you deserve. It's why we're pushing to fund health and safety research to get harmful chemicals like PFAS out of fire gear. You put yourselves in harm's way already. The gear on your bodies shouldn't be harming you, too. We're also fighting to make sure that firefighters aren't penalized for their public service and can receive full Social Security benefits at retirement, benefits that you have earned, just like everybody else, through a lifetime of hard work. And as always, we'll continue to protect collective bargaining rights for public servants, a bedrock of unions, and an important check in the workplace. The irony of your job is that people often come to appreciate it most during times of tragedy, like a wildfire. But that doesn't take away from the fact that every day you put your hard hats and suits on and rush into burning homes and buildings to rescue people in their hour of need. We can never thank you enough. But know that we're turning gratitude into action. We're going to continue to work hard to make sure that you have what you need so that you can keep serving your communities. Thank you, and I hope you have a great conference. Aloha.